Welcome to 12.5 minutes. My name is Jared Kelly, and I am with my favorite friend and co-host, Liz Whitehead.
Hi, Jared.
Hi, Liz. We have a special guest with us today. Sometimes we actually talk to people that we know very well, and then like today, we had the opportunity to meet someone new. And so we have the pleasure of talking to Shavonn Richardson. Shavonn, welcome to the show. We are excited to meet you. We actually have a little bit of idea that you are the founder of what's it called? Think and Inc. Grant Consulting, right?
Snazzy, isn't it?
It is. It's powerful. I like that. Give us an idea. When did you start this, and where did this all come from? I'm sure you're a fantastic writer, but where did all this?
Yeah, so I started thinking in grant consulting in 2016. We were founded in Atlanta, Georgia. And in my work experience, I had the opportunity to be a nonprofit leader. I'm running this nonprofit, I'm applying for grants, and I'm thinking I'm doing a great job, but I'm trying to figure out what do funders really want, right? But then at the very same time, I also worked as a program manager for a corporate foundation. So I'm in these rooms, in these spaces, having these conversations about who's going to get funded and reviewing these applications and seeing some nonprofits fall short for sometimes some very innocent reasons. And sometimes for reasons that with a little coaching, they could have won the grant. And so I'm in this space where I'm on the grant maker side, giving out $1.2 million a year. And then I'm on the other side where I'm trying to apply for grants for my own nonprofit. So yeah, I'm looking at this equation. I'm like, something is off here. Like, nonprofit leaders do not truly understand what funders are looking for. And it all really came about where I said, I think the solution is nonprofit leaders need to be more strategic before they actually start writing a grant, right? A lot of them, it's like 2 days before a grant is due, throwing words on a paper, submitting it, and then they're not understanding why they're not winning. So that's why Thinking Inc. came about. And that's why we're named Think and Inc. because we not only provide grant consulting services that are grounded in strategy and program design, but we also do grant writing as well.
That is great. As someone who does that for corporate clients, like RFPs and things like that, a lot of times it's given to me like, just do this. It's like, well, wait, you know more about this than I do. Can we talk about it? So I like the think part of Think Connect.
Exactly.
Right.
You got it.
It also gives an idea that you might have a special process, right? That reveals how to tell the story differently than how the nonprofit organization maybe sees themselves.
Exactly. And a lot of times it's about having a conversation, asking the right questions to pull the information out and really align it to what the funder's looking for. And I think it takes years of experience and writing a lot of grants and winning a lot of grants for us to have that eye to be able to help them.
Awesome. So you talked about winning grants. Tell us about how your company has grown since 2016.
Oh, wow. We've just been so blessed. So we've been around for about 8 years now. We are actually one of the few small businesses that grew during COVID. I know that's an odd story to tell. When a lot of fundraisers were shut down because they could not have in-person events, a lot of people turned to grants. And so we actually grew during COVID. And a lot of our growth since then has been through word of mouth. So 95% of our business is through word of mouth. We have a lot of contracts with counties and cities and mostly institutions of higher education. And we've gotten them through just doing great work and them telling their friends. And then I get a phone call, and that's how we've grown.
I think a lot of people don't think about that the institutions of higher education and the cities need the grants, right? That those are your clients. That's an interesting twist on it.
Yeah. Yeah. And for the last 8 years, that has been our focus. And recently we launched a subsidiary called Get Grants Better, which is for emerging nonprofit organizations that are just trying to figure it out. You may have just gotten your letter of determination and you're like, where do I go from here? So we offer mock reviews where nonprofit leaders write the grants themselves. We will review it and provide some recommendations on how to make it stronger. We do also have consulting hours where they can just meet with us and we can just give them some advice. And we also have grant writing training. So we're hoping that those resources will help those that have not been our traditional target market throughout the years. But it's our way to give back to the community.
That's pretty powerful because that's a wide audience, a wide spectrum in terms of the audience. And we have at CI Media Group, we have several nonprofit clients. And I also think though, when it comes to like government agencies, why would they need a grant?
So let's take a county that runs a jail. I know that's the freshest one on my mind. We just rolled off of it. A county that has a jail that folks soon are going to get re-entered into the community. And so a county would develop a program where they would help these people that are formerly incarcerated get jobs and certifications lined up before they go into the community. So that's one project that a county would have to ask the federal government for the dollars to do that.
I see. I was thinking more so of the county offering a grant to organizations that would provide the service, but they have to get the funding in order to offer it. So
yes. And oddly enough, we actually do both. So the first example where I said we will help them get dollars from the federal government to do local projects, that's one example. Then we'll have, let's say, like the city of Atlanta, who has grant funding, which that also comes from the federal government, where they're deploying grants to local nonprofits. We've been a part of that equation as well, where we're actually running panel reviews and recruiting panelists to read and score the applications and to help the cities and counties think through like a process of, okay, once the person submits the application, what happens next? And how do we score it? And how do we communicate who wins? And so we actually have grant maker services as well, where we help with that too.
That is so important because as someone who came from the nonprofit space, I never expected I would be a business owner. I thought I was going to just do good, just be a do-gooder the whole time. It's really hard to do good with no money and no insight. Like I think what you're providing is that insight into this is what the funders actually want. This is how you write it. So
exactly.
Yeah, you're helping the do-gooders do a better job.
Exactly right.
And do-gooders is actually a positive term at this point.
Right?
I mean it positively. I was one.
Absolutely. I love it. I love it. Well, and when I think about that, it makes me think of, I'm sure you have at least, you probably have several stories about what happens once an organization receives the benefit of your service, right? So maybe it is a small nonprofit or some agency. Do you have something that just really stood out as being like this? We've made a big impact. Is there something that comes?
There's two projects actually that come to mind. So we were working with a institution of higher education where the average age of their students is 27. So a lot of these students are working, they have children, they have multiple responsibilities. And we were able to win a $2 million grant for them to build a childcare center on campus because the closest childcare center was like far away. And a lot of these students are relying on buses and trains and Ubers just to get around. There were like no childcare centers in the area when we did an assessment. So they were able to build one on campus. And that was really impactful to us because instead of a student dropping out because of issues with childcare, now they can continue their education. So that's super meaningful. And I guess another one that I would name is with a county. And so we work with the local sheriff's office. And what we were able to do is when someone does get arrested, that they're able to be connected to mental health professionals at the jail. So that way people aren't getting arrested and going to jail for mental health issues. They're actually able to get help. And then when it comes time to sentencing, the judge can take that into consideration. Like, this person has like a documented mental health issue. This wasn't just, I'm a criminal, I'm out doing it. Yeah, I mean, we know that, but there's something else to it. And so they'll take that into consideration as far as the sentencing. So when people ask me about two projects that I'm really proud of, those are the two that I like to share. And that last project was a $1.2 million grant that we got so that they could have mental health professionals on site.
That's fantastic. I think both of those, it's very different, but you know, the fact that you are working on both sides of, you know, all walks of life, I think that's really important when you're looking at impacting the whole community. Like, it's a holistic response. That's great.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And you know, the other part about that too is that there is a ripple effect, right? On the lives. You know, you can help a young person in their 20s, but that might help their entire family, because we definitely know some young people that are in transition that may not have had the same trajectory of college education or otherwise, and they could be somewhat of a burden to a parent, uh, because they need that child to be a grown adult, right? But also they may have siblings that they can help, and they may have, you know, they may even have a young child, you know, the parents that need those help. So I really see, you know, when I see and think about what you're doing, I definitely see the community impact is way bigger than just the client, right? You know, it happens in so many instances where, you know, we really don't know how many lives we're touching until someone kind of points it out, and we see, you know, that success story come to life in human form, right? So, so congratulations. This has been fantastic. We don't have a whole lot of time, but I do think of two things, and I know Liz appreciates this. We definitely come to Atlanta, and we're going to be in Atlanta this year, so we'll definitely look you up. And as we mentioned, we know some great nonprofit organizations that are doing well, but always are looking for assistance or a thought process that is different, that can help them get to either a next level or perhaps just a more advanced grant funding opportunity. So thank you for your time, your energy, lovely, your background, everything, your brand new.
Thank you.
Point.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Take care, guys.
Liz, what did you learn?
So what I learned, one, was that cities and municipalities have to apply for grants to do the work that they're doing. So that was really illuminating for me. And also that Shavonn, just, it's right in the name, the think and ink. I'm not just gonna, you know, write something off and submit it and like hope for the best. Like, we're gonna strategize on this, because she has that insight into what funders want, and, you know, is making an impact on that basis. So I think that it's really different than the people we've talked about, but really cool.
Yeah. And it's also important to note that several grant writers that I've come across in our time in business, you know, maybe have just a great skill kind of in English and writing. But when you have the background like Shavonn has, being a leader of a nonprofit organization and also being on both sides of the table, then she will hear a message, she can craft a message differently, and also get to the point, which is how it matches, right? How that funder's goals and objectives are matched to what the recipient is saying that they're willing to do for that grant funding. So incredible. I definitely know that we'll use our LinkedIn network to connect her. So another great episode. I'm glad we met Shavonn, and certainly I hope that everyone gets to contribute and add comments. Please continue to follow us at 12.5 minutes. My name is Jared, and this is Liz Whitehead. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thanks.
Bye for now.